Hello, I'm your Dungeon Master, Jmar, and this is my storybook telling of our journey through the Dungeon and Dragons adventure of the Dragon of Icespire Peak. Last week, we bid farewell to Adabra and resumed our adventure to the Dwarven excavation site where ancient secrets and dangers await. As we approach the entrance, we spot two dwarves, Dazzlin and Norvis, munching on some bread and cheese. They seem to be debating on their next move, unaware of our presence. Mayhem approaches and extends her hand and smiles warmly at the two dwarves. Greetings, friends. We mean you no harm. The dwarves jump in surprise, dropping their tools and food. They stare at the strangers with a mix of curiosity and fear. Who are you? What do you want? They ask nervously. We don't get many visitors out here, especially not humans. Our heroes explain that they're on a mission from Harbin Wester, the town master of Phandalin, to warn them about the white dragon Cryovane that has been terrorizing the area. A white dragon, the dwarfs gasp. That's bad news indeed. Thank you for letting us know, and we'll be more careful from now on. The dwarves then share their own story with our party. They reveal that they are part of a mining expedition that stumbled upon a hidden dwarven temple deep underground. They managed to explore some of the chambers, but soon were forced to retreat by a mysterious menace. We don't know what it was, but it was nasty. We saw dead rats, spiders, and other vermins, all covered in slime. It smelled like death and decay, and we barely escaped with our lives. They shudder at the memory. We've been waiting here ever since, hoping to find a way back in. There must be something valuable in that temple, something worth risking our neck for. The dwarves look at each other, and then at our heroes. We'd be grateful for your help, but we don't have much to reward you with, they say apologetically. However, we do have something that might interest you. These are sending stones, rare and powerful magic items. They allow you to communicate with each other across great distances, as long as you both hold one. If you're brave enough to scout ahead for us, we'll give you these as a token of our appreciation. Eminence urges the group to take the dwarf's offer. Come on, it's a win-win situation. We get to explore the ruins and report back to Helia Thornton, the boss of the Thieves Guild. She'll pay us handsomely for any secrets we uncover. And we get to keep these sending stones too. They'll come in handy if we ever get separated or need backup. What do you say? He flashes a confident grin, hoping to persuade his companions. Though, it didn't take much to convince them, as they were eager for the thrill and the knowledge. The temple's entrance loomed before them, a gaping maw of darkness that swallowed any light. The heroes knew that the dwarfs who built this place had no need for the torches, for their eyes could pierce the gloom. But they also knew that something sinister lurked within, something that thrived in the shadows and fed on any living thing that dared enter. They stepped into the temple, feeling a chill in the air. The smell of rot and mold assaulted their nostrils, and they heard a faint dripping sound echoing in the distance. As they walked deeper into the temple, they felt a slimy substance under their feet, like the trails of some monstrous snail. They wondered what horrors awaited them in this forsaken place. As they kept walking, they reached a large chamber where a stone altar stood beyond 4 pillars. The room was dark and silent, except for the sounds of their own breathing. They had been exploring the temple for a while, hoping to find some clues about the ancient secrets, but so far they've only encountered dust and cobwebs. That was about to change. As they approached the altar, Eminence heard a wet, squishing noise above him. He looked up and he saw a greenish-yellow goo fall from the ceiling. He barely had time to react as the ooze landed on him with a splat. He screamed in pain as the ooze burned his skin and clothes. He instinctively unleashed his lightning breath, hoping to fry the creature, but to his horror, the ooze split into 2 smaller blobs, each one still clinging to him. The rest of the party gasped as they realized that they were under attack. Cinreal quickly cast a hex on the blob and swung his longsword at it. He hoped to cut it in half, but instead, it became worse. The blob split again, creating 2 more enemies. Cinreal cursed as he realized his mistake. He had never fought an orc or jelly before, and he had no idea how to kill it. Traumacar, seeing the other attacks weren't working, not wanting to make matters worse, but had to try something. He pointed his finger at one of the blobs and he shot a firebolt at it. The blob sizzled and shriveled as the fire consumed it. Traumacar smiled as he saw the effect. He shouted to his friends, "Use fire! Fire works!" But before they could follow his advice, another blob dropped from the ceiling, landing on Jarvan this time. Jarvan yelped as he felt the ooze burning his flesh. The party was in trouble. They were outnumbered and surrounded by oozes. They had to act fast, or they would be dissolved. They fought back with fire and magic, avoiding using slashing and lightning attacks. They learned from their mistakes, and they adapted to the situation. Our heroes were brave, and they were smart. They survived. They killed the last ooze and checked on their wounds. They were bruised and burned, but they were alive. They breathed a sigh of relief and thanked each other for their help, and they faced a new challenge, and they overcame it, and they grew stronger and more confident. They continued their exploration and found a secret door behind the altar. They opened it and saw a passage leading to another chamber. They wondered what secrets it held and what dangers it hid. They were curious, and they were ready. They moved on. As they explored the ruins, the adventurers found little of interest, except for some ancient dwarven remains clad in tattered red leather. They were about to give up when they noticed a faint red light shining through a gap in a collapsed doorway. Could this be the clue that they've been looking for? The rubble was too thick to clear quickly, and they had no idea what lay beyond the door. Traumacar the druid had a brilliant idea. He used his magic to transform into a cat and swiftly scaled the pile of stones. He squeezed through the holes, hoping to find the source of the mysterious glow. Traumacar felt his heart racing as he climbed the rubble. One wrong move could trigger a cave-in and bury him alive. He had to be careful, but he also had to be fast. The red light grew brighter as he approached, beckoning him to come closer. He pushed aside the last large brick and gasped. It was magnificent. A towering statue of a dwarven god stood before him, holding a glowing red gem in his hand. The gem sparkled like a star, casting a warm light over the ancient chamber. Traumacar reached out with his mind and contacted his companions. "You won't believe what I found," he said. "Start digging. You need to see this for yourselves." The adventurers stepped into the red-lit chamber, wary of any secrets it might hide. The statue of the dwarven god loomed over them, holding the glowing gem in his hand. Jarvan, Imminence, and Mayhem approached the statue carefully, looking for any signs of danger. They spotted a hidden mechanism near the base of the statue, connected to a thin wire. Imminence, still feeling a little off from his arcane surge days before, passed his thieves' tool to Jarvan. Jarvan examined the trap, trying to figure out how to disable it. He gently moved some of the parts, avoiding the wire. He heard a soft click. The trap was disarmed. The adventurers gazed at the gem, wondering what secrets it might hold. Cinreal the warlock spoke up. "I'll take it and keep it safe for us," he said, reaching for the gem. But as soon as his fingers touched the stone, something unexpected happened. The gem seared into his flesh, sending a wave of agony through his veins. He felt his blood boil, his nerves scream, his mind shatter. He bit his lip, trying to suppress the howl of pain that threatened to escape. But then, as sudden as it began, it ended. He blinked, confused and dazed. He felt oddly calm, as if nothing had happened. He looked at his hand and he saw the gem fused with his skin, pulsing the faint light. His companions stared at him, worried and curious. "Are you all right?" they asked. Sin nodded slowly. "I think so," he said. "I think I'm fine. Head feels a little oozy, but fine." Hey, if you've enjoyed watching our content, don't forget to smash that like button. drop a comment, and hit that subscribe bell. You can also catch us live on Twitch every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern to watch the live session of Dragon of Icespire Peak with myself and my wife, who plays as Mayhem. And if you missed that live stream, don't worry, we'll upload the playthroughs on YouTube every Wednesday. I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you.